As teacher, mentor, and global ambassador, in episode 3, Ray shares stories from his collaborations, including with Winsford Joker Devine and Dennis Williams the Merchant, and his experiences bringing the sound of Pan to audiences and students around the world. He speaks passionately about his views on developing the next generation of pannists, arrangers, and tuners.
Well, I'm glad you switched to Merchant because I want to talk a little bit about that.
Yes.
One of your noted collaborations was with Merchant.
Of course, yeah.
How did that come about?
That came about. This is good for my brain, eh? It came about through Winsford Devine himself.
Okay.
Winsford Devine had written the lyrics for Pan Woman and my band. So, I was going out to take another song for him. He said, you know something? Down at his home, he said, why don't you give me chant a song? Why don't try me chant? And he went on to say it would be the best work he'll ever get. I said, but how you telling me that? I said, if he can tell me that. So I decided. I didn't know him. Of course, I knew of his work. But I had a friend who was a lawyer and he used to work with at Park Plaza. There was a lawyer there. He was a Guerra. What is Guerra? Theodore Guerra. So he said he knew how to get on there. So we arranged a meeting. Park Plaza in office. He gave me his office key. And that's how we met and that's how it started. And I went back to Merchant too, I went back to Joke, which wrote some nice songs for me after that. If you really want. There were so many songs that But so I was fortunate to have what I consider two of the best.
Yes.
Two of the best.
So coming back to Merchant again, interesting way that you hooked up with him, one composer putting you onto another. Can you describe for us the process in working with him? How were the ideas generated? Was it melody first and lyrics, or then after, or the other way around?
It started off with melody first. I would give him tune on the tape. Well, he would come here and say, come on, put it on the tape. And then I will tell him what I think this song was about. Plenty Lovin', I said, this is a love song. And, well, he wrote it like a love song. The other one was Pan in the System. I said, I don't know whether I had the name, but he told me, he said, do you mind if I write this song about you, put myself in your place? I said, no, it's fine. That's why he wrote the song. From then, I still used to give him melody, and then eventually, remember he was ill, so his body was getting weaker. So eventually, I used to give him like some lines. If I hear something, a chorus, I would give it to him. Not the whole chorus, but the start with the chorus or the end, I would give him something, and that was something to go on. It's always good because rather than they have to go and find a whole new thing. Well, with Devine, it worked out like that after a while too. I used to give him a line or two, and he would complete it. So he said it's nice because I don't have to go and figure out what this song is about. It's like somebody every day you have to figure out what to cook. It's like that to them. It's a lot on your brain, Composing is a very, very tricky and intricate and time-consuming and arduous process.
Sense, that relationship evolved over time.
Right. It evolved, and in the end, I have a lot of songs that when he passed, as I was telling about David, when Merchant was in the hospital, used to go around and see him. I was living in Seattle. I came home for Christmas to go and see him in hospital. He said, why you didn't bring the tunes? I said, Dennis, why I'm going to bring tunes for you now? He said, bring them. I want to do all for you. And I was just thinking about him, you know, I didn't take them. But we ended up at the relationship was a wonderful one. You know, I was advised by good friends who knew him from Nelson Street around there where he used to go sometimes. Nah, boy, that's the worst thing you're doing. I don't want to call the guy's name, a well-known. See, you're my friend, and don't do that. He tried to describe it. I tell you, nobody could describe me. Right. I say, no, I'm giving a song to Merchant. And afterwards, he said, boy, you know, I really couldn't see that working out, you know, the way Merchant is. And I say, boy, look, I treat everybody, I start with 100%. I ain't starting with 90%. Because you have to bring yourself down to 90 or 80. And he did once. And I stopped giving him any work. And then he came and he was very repentant. He said, you know, he said, disappointed you, and I really deserve the punishment. Like he put it like that.
Okay.
And then when he came back, everything was fine again. Everything was fine until his death. You know? And I would say, I respected him a lot. He was a loyal friend. I can't give you all the examples. He was very loyal to me and my family, to my mother especially.
Right. Is there any particular Merchant song that has a special place in your heart? Or?
Apart from those that I wrote?
Yeah.
Boy, so many. But I'll tell you, I was first attracted to him when I heard Merchant. Norman. I find that was hilarious. Mm. And Norman, is that you? I love that song. Then, I'm trying to think about. You see, Better Be Careful. That's one of my favorites. Right. Advice to the Youths is another one that I love very much. And, well, of course, Driver. Mm-hmm. Another side of it. Yes, you know, but yes. Those songs, to me, people use the word genius too lightly, but he was one. And he never, I used to question him, you know, when he used a word, when he brought back the lyrics.
Okay.
We're going through the lyrics. Now we used to put on cassette. You know, those had 45 minutes each side.
Right.
One tune used to take up both sides, you know. He used, you know, what I liked about, he was like me. He wouldn't say, it good, so it good. So, no. So we'll play it, and if I hear a word and I ask Mother, Dennis, you think that? He said, well, he just tell me why he used the word. He always had an explanation, which some people might say, go away, no, that was not him, no joker. They were not like that. He used to say, I use that word because so and so. So I learned. Right. I'm not a first-class lyricist, but I learned to write because of my association with them. I learned from other people about that. Sitting down with somebody and you're going through this song and playing it. And we will revise as we go along. See, mainly his revision. I might hear a note and I say, you know something, you have to change that word because it's not going with the melody, the rhythm of the lyric.
Okay.
And we will change it. Everybody I work with, that happens if you write the music first. That's what would happen, right? When you write the verse, the lyric first, because the music have to adapt to the lyric. But when you write the lyric first, when you write the music first, then the lyric has to adapt. So little changes, which were fine. And it really was it was a brain teaser. But he was very he liked to do the best he could do. Took a pride in his work, quite contrary to what some people have told me about. I don't go about people's, I go over
What you
I
see.
know.
Yeah.
He took a pride in his work, and he never wanted to do less than the tune deserved.
Good. That's wonderful.
Yes.
You did some great work. And you
Oh.
and he both did some great work, and of course. Yeah. So Ray, you've taught and mentored a lot of young pannists and so on. What do you try to instill in them beyond technique?
Sorry. Feel. When I feel, music is feel. The question of discipline, disciplined playing, you know, paying attention to the melody. Try and be faithful to the melody at first, you know, if you need to go out there. But try and make sure that you have the melody accurate. Have a good feel, a nice feel for the piece. Practice. Of course, practice. And practicing is a difficult thing to do, you know, because some people, they get bored. You're standing up. Most people would stand, you know, and you can get tired on your feet. And to try to develop your ear. And of course, if they learn to read music, that's fine. It's even better. Try to develop your ear and try to play things that you think would make, how to put it without being judgmental, would make people feel happy or relaxed, or some things have to be sad. Have some emotion in your playing.
Okay.
That's what I try to get into them. And you know, everybody's mind doesn't work the same. Everybody doesn't feel the same things. So it's really up to the person to develop his own style. And some people, by nature, have a different way to look at things.
Yeah.
You can't change that. That's their nature. You could try and show them which might be more acceptable to public, to audiences, public listening, you know. And then it's up to them, but the practice is important, the discipline is important, the feel is important, the respect for the composer, for the composition, for the melody, you have to respect that.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Now, you've had the opportunity to take Pan global through performances, teaching assignments, you know. What has been the reaction of your global audiences and students to the concept of Pan, especially when they encounter it for the first time?
Most people are in awe, and they really can't believe that this circular drum is producing that sound.
Right.
When they hear the orchestra, say, well, you know, it really is mind-blowing, you know. You're seeing something that you never saw before. Somebody playing drums, cans, whatever you call it. And most people would not forget what they heard. And that is why I insist first impressions are important.
Mm-hmm.
You play that pan and you're sounding like noise, that's what they're going to remember. You play the pan and it's some musical, that's what they're going to take home. Mm-hmm. So I try to tell the players, always imagine this person hearing it for the first time. You create a good impression of the instrument. And people keep coming back to it. Some people get hooked on the pan. They really, and it's easy to learn, relatively speaking, compared to piano. So there are a lot of people who have come into the pan of late. Thousands of people. And all parts of the world. But we still have the problem of you have to respect the listener. 3 days ago, a young man from up the street came to help me with my stove here. I never saw the boy before. He said, "I could help you with it." I was looking for his employer. He said, "I could help you with it." To find out that he was an A-level student, So I asked him, he made a confession. When he saw all the things on the wall there, he said, "After confessing, I don't like pan, I said, "No problem, that's all right. Everybody can't like the same thing, So he thought I would be upset. I said, no. You were honest. You said that you don't really like it. I said, "But you have any idea why?" He said, "It sounds too much like noise." I said, "Okay." I told him, I said, "You see that answer? I've been getting that answer since the early 70s when I used to, after Carnival, I go down to Macquarie Ash Wednesday, right? So when I go down, there are a lot of young people, so I engage them in conversation. So you all went to the pantry, anybody, about pan, you went to, no, we didn't go. I said, "Well, why you didn't go? We don't really like the pan." The exact answer to what this young man said. This boy is 19 years old. It sounds too much like noise. It depends on who they heard playing, what group they heard playing, what type of music they were playing. But I understand that is a problem. It is a problem that early man had spoken to me about that years ago. He said they have to overcome that problem. And I think a lot of people have overcome it. And they have to keep on. But when I listen to the junior panorama here, somebody ain't doing the right thing. The teachers have a responsibility to teach people the right way.
Right.
And what's the rest of your question?
Well, their reaction.
People love to hear
the
when it's played nice. People love to hear it. And more people have, as I said, it's also what is important is for it to be well recorded. Because as I said, you're hearing this thing for the first time. You might be seeing it, but you're hearing it for the first time. It must sound good.
Yes.
Because you're turning off not only that one person or two people, but they will go now and tell other people, you hear that bad thing, you have to be, it's a responsibility which I don't think many people take seriously.
Right.
So we really should have been much further on. Maybe we'll get there. A lot of the tuners are dedicated. We have some young tuners who really, really like to ask questions. That's how you learn. I'm very impressed with a few of them. And tuners I know in the States told me that a couple of them, boy, they like to talk because they want to know and they like to share knowledge.
Yeah.
Knowledge is not one way, So I think there is hope with those tuners. Now, you remember in the past people used to hide to tune and so we wouldn't see what they're doing and all that has kept the pan back.
Yeah.
But it now is opening up and people realizing that is folly.
Yes, for sure.
So I'm hopeful that we would go along the right road, try and do the right things.
So what are the right things? How do we develop another generation of composers, of arrangers, of tuners?
Well, we have to be in the right environment. The environment must be one that promotes that sort of thinking. The present time, there's a word anathema. The environment now is inhibiting that. So the environment being here now is the exact opposite to what we need to have young people come and create, and to have new composers and new arrangers and so on. This is my opinion, and many people might dispute that, but I'm sticking to what I see.
For sure.
It is not a good environment for creativity. So somebody got to do something. Somebody's got to. Because you have young minds. I mean, shepherd them into the right fold. So they'll make something of their lives, and produce something that will be a credit to the country, and to themselves and their friends, family, and country. But I have not gotten much good feedback from abroad. Not good feedback at all. And